Welcome. Today we're going to talk about prophylactic thinking. If I play with white, of course, e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, sorry, the Italian. And for example, in this position, I can play several different moves. And normally, most of the players play h3. So if the white player plays h3, he is already thinking on a prophylactic move. Why? Because he doesn't want the bishop to go to g4. So what is the prophylaxis? The prophylaxis is a way to prevent a move from your opponent. This move can be related to different areas. First, we have the defense. In this case, for example, if I play h3, of course, the black player won't want to play bishop g4. The second will be restricting the opponent's moves, of course. So we will do some moves, prophylactic moves, before he does the move. And this way of thinking will complicate the game from your opponents. The third point is to prevent the opening of files or diagonals. For example, imagine you're winning by 1 or 2 points, and your opponent is trying to open a file to attack you. Well, instead of continuing your attack, you can pause the attack and prevent the opening of the diagonal. And if you prevent that, your win will be easier. For example, Bobby Fischer was an expert doing this kind of stuff. The fourth point is to control the center. So we already have seen on this channel, we analyzed a game between Carlsen and Hammer, and Carlsen has done that several times. So if you want, you can see right there the analysis of this this game. And finally, the fifth point is to maintain the piece harmony. So let's see some examples. So we've already seen that the prophylaxis is the way we prevent our opponents to move his pieces, to attack, to maintain the control of files or diagonals. And we have two different types of prophylaxis. We have the active and the passive. The difference is simple. The passive is when you don't have the initiative and you're doing defensive moves. The active is when you're doing the prophylaxis to continue with the initiative and the attack. So, well, let's see our first example. Our first example is on a game between Robert James Fischer, the legend, and Hans Berliner. And in this position, black has played queen to e4. And if you want, you can put the video on the pause and try to figure out what is the best move for the white. Well, here in this position, if you analyze with an engine, the engine will say that you just have one way to try to reach for the victory with white. And well, the move is queen f2. Why is that? Well, this is a defensive move, and we using the prophylactic thinking, because if, for example, I play a3 or something else, probably the black will want to try to create pressure on the bishop, or even play, I don't know, b6 or queen e5. And in this position, if you play queen f2, you will protect the h4 square and you will create pressure on the c5 pawn. So For example, in this position, Berliner has continued with queen e7, so the queen isn't dangerous anymore. And after, because now he needs to defend the pawn, and after Fischer played g4, now bishop goes to d3, and after that, of course, rook d1, and everything is well. Bishop played to e4, and after that d6, and here white is already with a small advantage, because after queen e5, bishop attacks, queen c3, and now I can advance. This continued with rook d8, queen attacks the bishop, and let's see again, if bishop goes here, of course we have queen e8. It's too strong, because, well, king g7, I just can play like that, and the bishop doesn't let the king go to h6, and after that, of course, I will win the rook and win the game. So we've already seen our first position. This first position is quite easy, because it's a defensive move, and we were seeing that the queen was dangerous. The queen was trying to figure out a way to attack our pawns. Now let's complicate a little bit. So the second position is between a game between Emanuel Lasker and Harry Pillsbury. So this game is famous, and Lasker is playing with white, and Pillsbury with black. So the last move was bishop to d7. And first, if we want to use prophylaxis, we need to know what is our plan, our opponent's plan. So what does Pillsbury want to move? So let's see. He played bishop d7. Probably he will want to play rook e8. And if he plays rook e8, he will advance the pawn and will try to open the file. So, okay, how can we prevent that? Here, if you analyze with an engine, the engine, of course, will say something like that to create pressure on the f7 square. But Lasker has seen a very interesting idea, because he has played knight to b1, putting the knight on the initial position. So this continued with the rook, and then knight d2, and after the advance, pawn takes, rook takes, and he has made this move, knight to f3. The problem is that for black, now the knight is attacking the rook and is protecting the e1 square. So is a way to defend this position. So the game continued with rook e3, and I'm going to show just a few more moves. He has played knight g5, creating pressure on the f7 square. Too strong, and he's threatening checkmate. And after rook takes, of course, pawn takes, and the position is similar, because talking about the material is even, but the problem is that I'm threatening this pawn, I'm threatening to put the rook on f7, so it isn't easy to defend this position with black. So this continued with the advance of the pawn, and after check, king has gone to g7, and after the knight to g6, now the game is superior to white. So, okay, Lasker has played this very well. It's not a normal plan, but it's an interesting plan, because he has evaluated the position, and after he seen that probably the plan would be on the file, okay, let's protect that. The next player is a legend, and I'm talking about Mikhail Botvinnik. And Botvinnik played with another legend named Vasily Smyslov. So both were world champions. And in this game, Botvinnik was playing with white and Smyslov with black. And of course, we are difficulting a little bit because now, well, Botvinnik is like it's very strong playing with this kind of plans. So the last move was knight to d7. So the idea is to create pressure on the pawn, and we need to think what is the other idea of the black's player. So if you want, again, you can put on the pause the video and think a little bit, because this is interesting. The plan of the black's player is to play on the queen side, and Botvinnik will think at a genius way because he wants to let the opponent do the attack on the queen side, and with that he will be won. So the idea is bishop b1, and after knight a5. So the idea is just to threaten to take the pawn. He will play bishop a2. And okay, we evaluate this move, and okay, white isn't better at any point. But the problem is that Botvinnik is reading Smyslov's mind. So he knows what Smyslov wants. And Smyslov wants to attack on the queen side. So after b5, pawn takes, he plays b4, too strong, and Smyslov plays knight c. And after that, you already know what he has done. Bishop takes knight. And after pawn takes, right now, this game is easier for white. Why is that? Simple, because I have a passed pawn. So this continued. I'm going to advance a few more moves. And this continued with a very strong attack on the queen side. So in this game, at a genius way, Botvinnik has think, okay, he wants to attack me on the queen side. So attack me, please, because I want to be attacked. And if you attack me, I will want you. Sorry, I will win you at the queen's side. Genius. That's the reason he was the world champion. Well, continuing, we need to see the other examples. And of course, we need to talk too about Artur Yusupov. Artur Yusupov was a very strong player and a very strong coach. And in this game, he has played with John van der Wiel. So, of course, he is playing with white, and the last black's move was knight takes bishop. And here in this position, we are seeing the point 5, maintaining the piece harmony. So here, Artur Yusupov has a quite strong attack. He has a better position with his pieces. The bishop is well placed, the queen too. The knight is creating pressure on two important points, this one and this one. And we want to add more pressure to this game. So how do we do that? How can we create pressure on the queen side? And that's the same way how can we prevent the black's idea? Of course, first you need to think about what is the black's idea. Have you found? While you're thinking, don't forget to like and subscribe. Almost 70% of the viewers isn't subscribed on the channel. And if you subscribe and like, of course, and if you like the contents. If you're improving, please make a comment below. You will help the channel to grow on the algorithm. So if you are already sorry subscribed, thanks a lot. So here the black's plan, it's quite simple, is to play knight to b4 and put the knight on d5. And this is annoying because I will have some problems to remove the knight from this square. So, well, Yusupov has played rook d1. It's simple. I don't want you to put the knight here, so okay, I play rook d1, and after queen d5, trying to create something, I can just play queen. Let's increase the pressure on the f6 square, and after queen goes away, we just play rook b3. After that, the game is completely lost for black. So here, at analyzing the position, white has at least 2-3 points of advantage because it is impossible to prevent the loss of material here. Because, well, I'm threatening to take f7 here in this position. He hasn't resigned, but he gave up the quality, and after bishop takes, well, this position is completely lost. So a very good evaluation from Yusupov. The next position is is between experts on prophylaxis. I will correct because it isn't the next, it's the two last exercises, because the next is a game between Anatoly Karpov and Artur Yusupov. So, two legends. And, well, if you want me to do an entire video about the prophylactic thinking from Karpov, say something, because Karpov was very, very, very good at this point. Well, let's go. So Karpov is playing with white, and let me put this one. Yeah, this one is better. Karpov was playing with white, and Yusupov with black. And in this position, you need to figure out what is the black's idea, because the last move was queen d7. What is the black's idea? It isn't easy to find, but Karpov was very strong doing this kind of evaluations. So the idea of the black's player is to try to play knight a5 and then knight c4, creating some pressure on the white game. So how can we prevent that? This one isn't easy, and the last one isn't easy too. So you want to you want to see the last one, because the last one is for crazy persons. Well, the move is bishop d3. Bishop d3. And, oh, but bishop takes. Yeah, sure. And queen takes. And now I'm creating pressure. Of course, black can do that. But does the black player want to do that? Probably no, because of this move. If knight enters, now I have this kind of stuff. So here, black has played rook b8, and this game is a genius game by Karpov, because rook creating pressure, and of course this is necessary. And then after h3, another prophylactic move, because he doesn't want to lose by the back rank mate, and black will do the same move, and Karpov will play always trying to block the black's idea and try to enter on the open file. So the idea is to create pressure on the C file. And the white player will have some difficulties doing that. Are you seeing this? This is crazy because he was too strong on that point. Karpov, when Karpov was the world champion, he was too strong. That's the reason I'm not sure if Bobby Fischer would win Karpov. Because I don't know if you read, but on those days, Karpov was the first player to be world champion because of the portrait of Bobby Fischer. So right now, Karpov is already won. So the last game I want to show you is between another genius. And again, if you want me to do an entire video about the next guy, tell me something at the comments, because the next guy is probably the most complicated guy to analyze because, well, I'm talking about Tigran Petrosian. Petrosian was a genius too. And it is very complicated for me with my style to analyze Petrosian because Petrosian was very, very strong. And here, for example, he is playing with white. And okay, this is King's Indian defense, and he's playing with white. And okay, what can you do? He is already thinking on prophylaxis for about 6 or 7 moves in front, because now he will play knight e1. What is the idea? Simple. He wants to put the knight on d3 to control central squares. Do you remember? It's one of the points. And then he will try to improve his position doing f3. My God, nobody plays this move. f3, just computers and Petrosian. Okay, just computers and Petrosian. So black has played that, and the black player he wasn't weak. Kasparian has several studies on the endgame. Kasparian was a genius too. So this guy wasn't weak, and he will do queen f2 to prevent the black's plans. So after a6, because the pawn is being attacked, I play bishop b6, and the black player cannot develop his pieces, create his plans, so because he's being threatened. So after queen e7, let's go. Rook, bishop, pawn, and f6. And look at this. Let's advance a few moves. And this guy is completely crazy because he will continue with g4 and bishop check. And are you looking to the same as I? The knight on d3 is already placed because in the future the bishop will be played to f4 and he will take the bishop and will be better. Of course, if you put on the computer says this is even, but it isn't easy for the black to play because right now he has a strong bishop on d4 and black needs to take risks. That's the reason Kasparian has made this sacrifice. So bishop takes, and of course, if you sacrifice, you won't win nothing because you're playing against Petrosian. So Petrosian advances, and oh my God, what's happening here? So black takes, bishop takes, and okay, what happened? White is better? Oh, it isn't possible. How is black? How is white better? It's simple. It's Petrosian. So this continued like that. And right now the position is completely won. Of course, later on another video, we're going to analyze several of these games with detail, and here the game is over. So this guy was too strong. Karpov, Nizovic, Petrosian, Bobby Fischer, they were too strong playing with Prophylaxis. And I'm going to put another screen with a lot of texts, but that's for the persons that like to read about all the concepts we have been talking about. Today we've been talking about the Prophylaxis. So I know I have here a lot of text. So resuming, when we use Prophylaxis, we are reading our opponent's mind, and we will do a move that will prevent our opponent to reach their goals. So if we are being attacked, before we be attacked, we will do Prophylaxis for the defense. If we see that our opponent can win some space, we will try to restrict the opponent. If he wants to open files or columns, let's go, let's prevent that. Oh, but I'm not a defensive player. Neither do I. But if you master the Prophylaxis, you will be very strong, okay? Then, to control the center and maintain peace harmony, if you already have the initiative, well, let's figure out a way to continue with the initiative. So, to master Prophylaxis is to improve a level. And a good prophylactic player, it's very probable that he will be a good master. So, if you want to be a good master, you will want to see that too. It's a game between Carlsen and Hammer, and he uses Prophylaxis. If you understood the concept, please put at the comments what kind of Prophylaxis Carlsen has used on his game. So I hope you enjoyed this content. Don't forget to like, and till tomorrow. Bye bye.